Hello everybody, my name is Trevor Selescu.
And I'm the owner of
Monster Hobbies in High River, Alberta, Canada.
Today I want to tell you a little story about this magic store building that I built way back in Fantasy 7th edition for use in our store. Now this little building was used for many years until the High River flood of 2013. Now during that flood there was a lot of our terrain features which were sitting up top in the high end of the store. Our store happened to get 5 feet of water into it, and the moisture in there affected the models on the top shelves. As a result, you can see just how twisted this building ended up becoming due to the water warping into the paper. Now most people might just look at this and consider, well, it's too far gone. I mean, look at the twists in there. I might as well just throw it away. It is a Vyllage on the Cheep building, which means that you could easily just print another one and rebuild it. But, you know, I don't really like burning up a lot of paper and printer ink and that sort of thing. So I do believe I'm going to try to restore this thing today by using some Foamcore in there to get all the walls straight. Really all I want is the imagery off of this building, and the rest can be reconstructed using Foamcore and some cardboard. Now taking the model kit apart is very simplistic. All we got to do is take a look underneath, see where these tabs are, and carefully pull it apart along the tab lines. So just sort of like this. Here's our house dismantled into 4 easy pieces. I decided to leave the top up here because it does look really square and good still. What I'm going to do is glue the roof down onto some thick cardboard. That cardboard, of course, is going to be a box from Chicken McNuggets. I found that one to be really thick. And then on these, I'm going to take my steel ruler and lay it along the angles and cut off the original tabs. As you can see, I used Scotch tape and glue to hold this all together. The other place I'm going to cut is down here and here. And I learned that with the Foamcore board, you really want to put it on the sides with the angles. And then these flat areas here, I can glue them also onto the old Chicken McNugget box for that stiff cardboard. Now the reason why you want to put the foam on here is because the foam is thick, so it'll leave a little edge for you to be able to glue that roof on, and everything will look great in the end. Here's all the pieces after they've been glued to the cardboard and the Foamcore. The only exception, of course, is the chimney and the little tower that I left on the actual roof. And down here I've cut a piece which will act as our base. So in order to cut a base like this, you just need to measure to the ends of your building along the long wall, and then on the opposite wall you just measure up to the short end. So what we will do here is apply some hot glue along those edges, and then I'm going to squish this down and hold it so it's nice and upright, and then attach the ends, putting the hot glue along this edge. Well, this one's back, but you get the idea. Now, what I've used for the hot glue gun is I bought a brand new one. This is a Gorilla hot glue gun, and it has 2 settings, low and high. I've got it set onto high, and it does work really well. The other thing is it has this stand that folds back and forth, and it'll actually fold right up into the bottom of the gun like that. And that's really nice because you can have it standing there warming up, and then you can also just keep it on the stand when you're doing something like this. But if you're going into a tight corner, you can flip this back and it'll actually reach pretty much down to the bottom, so you could come up along this end when you have the 2 pieces together like this, and you just want a bit of glue into that corner. Now here is the base on the long end, and I'm just going to put my hot glue right down here, just like this. Put the glue gun to the side and slowly just work my way up to this edge and press down on it just to get that along there. I think I've actually made a mistake on it, so I'll carefully pull this up. Ooh. You can easily pick this off here. Not so easily pick this off. We can run another bead of hot glue along. This should melt the previous bead. Okay, let's try this again. Just line this right up along that edge. from there to there. Pull that off and then press down right into our board. And that should seal up this nice and firm along that edge. So now, like I said, I folded back the stand here, and as you can see, you can easily just go right into the corner with this now for some reinforcement, just along that edge. And then once the hot glue is dry, it'll act as a little reinforcer, just like a caulking gun. Now, as you can see, I've got the two side pieces together. So what I want to do next is apply the hot glue along the edge here. First, I want to size up to make sure I have the right piece. This is the one that is taller. So here we have the back end, and it should be, I believe, this way around. Or it might have been, I think that's the right way. Okay, so what we do here is just apply hot glue on one side for now, because we're going to need to align this little wall. So let's get the wall to the edge. Going to move it down a little bit because of the angle of that roof. And then we can press this with our sandpaper block just to give it a little pressure as it cools down. So now, as I was gluing this together, my daughter pointed out that this is in fact upside down because this beam should actually match with this beam. And if you look at the W's, they are along the bottom, not along the top. So carefully we can pull this up and just remove it here. I'm doing that a lot in this video. Okay, let's do this the right way by applying the glue and then putting this way so now it will match down below. Again, I'll just move this down a little so we get the nice angle with the roof. Move that across and press down with our sandpaper block just to let this cool. Now we have to attach this part of the wall, and when we do that we can also move this end in and out for alignment. So again, just a little hot glue along the edge, and then we can align this from edge to edge. And anything that squishes out, you can easily just pull up and remove. And then I'll just add a bit of pressure with the edge of my sandpaper block. Now what I've done here to cover up the yellow from the cardboard box and the printing on our roof here is to paint it over with some Demonette hide, a color from the Games Workshop, a base color. And then after that, what I will do is squeeze out some of the glue gun onto here, and then just simply glue the roof into place, bending it as I go, much like I did with the walls. So here I've put the hot glue along this back edge, making sure to get that fold right along the peak of the roof edge. Now all I need to do is just glue down here and glue down here, and then press this firmly into place. So here is our magic shop after I've glued it all together, and I did paint some more Demonette hide just around the corners and the edges, like on that corner by the door, to cover up any of this sort of brown cardboard that you would have seen right through it. I glued the chimney back on, and I also noticed that there is a crack along the top of the roof. This is where I had to score it and bend it. So what I want to do is cover that crack over, and what I have here is a piece of purple construction paper, and I used my straight edge and knife to cut off a nice strip of it just like this here. And then what I did is scored up the center of that piece and folded it over on itself, and I got this sort of triangular little piece of paper. I don't know how well you can see that. And then what I want to do is just carefully open up that paper, just like this, but keeping that fold in the center. I want to apply a bit of our Elmer's glue all right up into the center of this, and then glue it just over top of the crack and bend it. I'm of course going to leave an overhang sticking out the bottom. Once the glue is dry, I'll cut it off to the edge of the roof, and then we can see just how nicely that little strip of paper covers over this big open crack that you can see. Here's our magic shop after the rebuild, using our Foamcore board on this side and our cardboard here. also stiffening the roof up with cardboard and adding in that strip in the back. And as you can see, this building now looks a lot crisper than the before and after shot. As you could see right there in those two comparison pictures. So again, we've got a nice little building here that looks good at every angle now, and it's ready to go back on our wargaming table. So I hope you really enjoyed this video, and if you've got a similar building, it's very easy to bring it back from a dilapidated state and make it look good once again.